It's just another tough fight for either one.
Better chance to be very competitive in this in a way because he doesn't throw reckless punches and too many punches where he gives in a way a lesser chance to catch him.
He can be hurt, he can be put down, and MJ's a big puncher. I don't think you can judge much off of the performance of last week from MJ because it was sort of cautious, and he was just going in there to get the win.
Boxing experts see Murodjon Akhmadaliev as a real threat to Naoya Inoue. Teddy Atlas explained that MJ isn't just powerful, but also smart and disciplined. He doesn't waste punches, instead throwing only when it counts, which makes it harder for Inoue to find gaps. His southpaw stance, sharp fundamentals, and calm style give him a strong chance to surprise the Japanese star. Analysts believe that if Inoue takes him lightly, MJ's speed, skills, and composure could make this one of the most difficult fights of Inoue's career.
He's a southpaw. He's a good puncher. He doesn't waste anything. He's very deliberate in his approach. He slowly, takes the air out of the room by carefully putting pressure on. He's not reckless. He's got good legs. He controls range really well, going in and out, changing range. That helps him defensively. It helps him offensively. He does that like Lomachenko did it. Not as good as Lomachenko. I don't know if anybody does legs as good as Lomachenko at his best did. And Lomachenko was better because he not only went in and out, he went to the sides. He went in, out, side, in. I mean, he was a magician with his legs. He was a ballet artist with his legs. But MJ uses them well. He doesn't waste anything. As my son said, he's got good eyes. He places punches really accurately, especially to the body. He throws a beautiful left uppercut to the liver. Beautiful, from the southpaw position. Usually you see that punch from the orthodox position with the conventional left hook to the liver. He does it with a left uppercut to the liver. He gets range. He delivers it again very accurately, flawlessly. He is a serious guy. He's not the busiest guy in the world, but that makes him a problem too. I kind of laughed. One of the commentators, I don't know who the guy was, but the blow-by-blow guy, I had to laugh when he said, "Oh, hey, this will never work against Inoue." What are you talking about? He's got to throw more punches for you to give him a chance against Inoue? Where did you get your boxing diploma from? What school was that? I'd like to know. So he's going to have a better chance, in your estimation, to beat Inoue because he should be throwing a lot more punches.
Trainer Joel Diaz says Murodjon Akhmadaliev stands out as one of the most dangerous fighters. As super bantamweight, as a southpaw, he brings tricky angles and movements that orthodox boxers struggle with. Diaz pointed out MJ's rare mix of speed and power, stressing that his punches are sharp and accurate, not just heavy. His footwork lets him control range, pivot out of trouble, and open space for attacks. Diaz warned that fighting MJ won't be easy. His stance, athleticism, and calculated aggression make him a puzzle even for elite fighters. Against Inoue, Diaz believes these qualities could turn what many call a mismatch into a fight, where MJ might outmaneuver or even frustrate the pound-for-pound star.
Joel, we just talked about you did save Cinco de Mayo boxing. Congratulations. Now that you know Inoue from Cardenas, you have MJ who's next. Is that going to be here or is it going to be Tokyo? Do you know?
They talked about Tokyo. I think it's going to be over there.
I think it's more electric here because we can go. But now...
I wish it was here.
I know. With what you learned and with Cardenas learned, is it going to be easier to be able to train MJ, or do you think Inoue is going to come in differently?
Well, it's a different style. It's a different fighter. Cardenas is a right-hander. MJ is lefty. Their both styles are different.
Thank you so much.
It's just another tough fight for either one. I mean, MJ is tough. He's strong. He's disciplined. He has great timing. He has better footwork. Cardenas, don't get me wrong. Cardenas is very, very smart with his defense. On avoiding getting hit. But I don't think it's going to be easy for either or.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be an easy task even though I share the ring with Inoue already, is not, because Inoue is very smart. He's very athletic, you know, and I mean, his timing, his volume is overwhelming.
Analysts caution that the biggest danger for Naoya Inoue is underestimating Murodjon Akhmadaliev. The issue isn't about Inoue's talent, everyone knows his skill level, but about focus and preparation. A key factor is that MJ is coached by Joel Diaz, a trainer with deep knowledge of Inoue's tendencies. That insight could give MJ's camp a game plan to expose weaknesses. Experts say this connection may be the most important storyline. Going into the fight, Inoue must stay sharp, avoid arrogance, and respect MJ as a serious, well-prepared opponent or risk a costly mistake.
Naoya Inoue admitted that MJ Akhmadaliev may possibly be his strongest opponent yet, and that there's no shame in admitting that his plan is to stay vigilant and be extra cautious. Inoue, who's known to always pretty much win via knockout, admitted that for this fight, it's okay to win via decision, suggesting that being reckless and letting his guard down is definitely a big no-no, especially considering that Akhmadaliev's trainer is the same guy who trained Ramon Cardenas, the fighter who fought and scored a knockdown against Inoue this past Cinco de Mayo. Once again, this fight will be for the undisputed junior featherweight title, and if Inoue wins, he's expected to fight again on December 27th and will be headlining a Japan versus Mexico card in Saudi Arabia. Now, this will mark Inoue's official Riyadh season debut in the Middle East, as well as the last fight for Inoue before he and fellow Japanese pound-for-pound Junto Nakatani meet early next year.
Teddy Atlas again praised Akhmadaliev, calling him one of the division's fastest and strongest fighters. He noted that MJ doesn't throw wild punches or waste energy. Instead, he picks his shots carefully, aiming for maximum effect. This kind of discipline, Atlas argued, makes him especially dangerous against Inoue. By avoiding reckless exchanges and focusing on accuracy, MJ lowers his own risks while boosting his chances of pulling off an upset.
Where he gives Inoue a lesser chance to catch him as he's throwing those punches.
And he's a southpaw.
Yeah, and he's a southpaw. He's very select with what he throws. And when he throws, it's accurate. It's at the right place, at the right time, in the right position. He's not throwing, like you say, more punches where he might throw from too far away or too many in one spot, where Inoue, who's great at timing guys, would time him in between a fourth punch. Inoue won't have that opportunity because this guy is selective. He is smart. He is calculating. That's what gives him a chance. That's the opposite of what whoever he was. The opposite. That's what gives him a chance for me.
Promoter Eddie Hearn stirred debate when he suggested Naoya Inoue avoided fighting Akhmadaliev in the past. Hearn claimed that Inoue had been told MJ was the most dangerous and complete fighter in the division, but the fight still didn't happen. Until now, he described MJ as one of the most avoided boxers at super bantamweight, a high-risk, low-reward opponent that top names preferred to skip. By framing it as Inoue sidestepping a real challenge, Hearn built the narrative that this matchup is long overdue. His comments also boosted MJ's image as the fighter other champions didn't want to face.
Inoue is straight ducking MJ Akhmadaliev. He's been ordered to fight him twice, right? He's had 2 gimme fights now instead of fighting Akhmadaliev. And now, well, tomorrow, no, Monday, the WBA will write to Naoya Inoue and they will say, enough's enough. You have to fight Akhmadaliev next, or you will be stripped of your WBA world title. He has ducked Akhmadaliev twice after an order. Now he's getting ordered for a 3rd time, and he will give up his right as undisputed champion rather than make a mandatory defense against Akhmadaliev. What? Tell me a better fight at 122 than Inoue against Akhmadaliev. It doesn't exist. So you're ducking the best fight in the division. And I can't understand it. Like, and I don't even think it's just coming from the team. They don't like the fight.
Journalist Gareth A. Davies pushed back against Eddie Hearn's claims. He asked bluntly, why would Inoue need to avoid MJ Akhmadaliev? Davies pointed out that while MJ is respected within boxing circles, he isn't well known to casual fans. Inoue, however, is already a global star, an undisputed champion who has beaten top names and built a huge fan base. From that view, the idea of ducking MJ doesn't make sense. Davies stressed that Inoue doesn't need validation. His record speaks for itself. To him, fighting MJ is more about adding to Inoue's legacy than proving critics wrong. The debate between Hearn and Davies shows the sides of promotion, one painting MJ as the avoided man, the other questioning if such claims hold up.
Akhmadaliev, who is Akhmadaliev? I know he's very seasoned and he's a brilliant fighter and very dangerous, but who is he?
At this stage of Naoya Inoue's career, exactly that question, Gareth. Who is he?
Naoya Inoue is number 2 pound for pound in the world,
Mate,
isn't he? Or 2 or 3.
For the people that may not know Naoya Inoue, he's in the top 3 pound for pound. He's a 4-weight, 4-division world champion, 2-weight, 2-division undisputed champion. Naoya Inoue, I'll tell you where he goes next. He's been light fly, super fly, bantam, super bantam. You know, he's gone through the divisions, winning world titles and getting undisputed, etc. Where does he go next? He moves up. He's just signed with Riyadh season.
Yeah.
The fight was there. It was a brilliant performance against Kim. Just showed his class, absolutely dominated and absolutely
Don't call him on, I say, because Kim made a massive mistake,
yeah,
didn't
Kim
he?
called him on, and the body shot was crippling, and then he landed a big right hand. The fight was over, but it was calculated. It was meticulous in that finish. It was brilliant.
This guy is a modern great. He's called the monster because I think it's 26 knockouts from 29 fights now. He is so destructive. He's come up through the weight divisions, as you say, 4 weight divisions, not just winning world titles, but dominating the best in the divisions. He's stepping up to a 5th weight division. He's got the credence and the belief of Turki Al-Sheikh now, who wants him to fight. Who did he mention? Nick Ball. And this is a fight we've been pushing for. I've been talking about it for a year. Stylistically, Ball is a squat, powerful pocket rocket who comes at you all night.
Joel Diaz added more praise for MJ by highlighting his versatility and experience. He said Akhmadaliev is bigger and more complete than Ramon Cardenas, a fighter who already gave Inoue problems. If Cardenas could test Inoue, Diaz argued, then MJ being faster, stronger, and more seasoned would be an even harder matchup. Diaz pointed out that MJ has faced all styles, pressure fighters, slick movers, counterpunchers, and big punchers. This wide experience has sharpened his adaptability and ring IQ. Diaz called MJ one of the most complete fighters today, not just because of his physical tools, but also his ability to adjust. For Inoue, who relies on timing and precision, facing someone with such depth could pose unique challenges.
You just mentioned earlier MJ has that fight in Mexico. It's looking like a stay busy kind of fight. We've heard that the fight with Inoue is official. Is it confirmed?
Well, they said it is. I don't know. I mean, they already announced it. They said it's September 14th. So.
And obviously MJ and Ramon, good buddies. There's no animosity there. Yeah. They're always motivating each other. Half the time they don't talk really about common opponents. They're just they're just treating the shit the way they say it. What has MJ said about that fight, and how does he feel about his chances?
Look, you're talking about 2 different fighters. Ramon is totally different from MJ. MJ is lefty. Ramon is righty. Ramon is a smaller than MJ. MJ is a bigger, solid, more solid fighter with more technique. He was an Olympian. Remember, MJ has fought every style around the world because he was an Olympian. He was a silver medalist, bronze medalist, whatever. He's fought the best of the best in the world. That's why MJ has a better chance than Ramon. The only difference between us and MJ is the language barrier. To talk to him the way I can talk to a Mexican fighter that grew up with me, to motivate him in my language is different than just saying davai, the rabota, like work, No, it's different. So that's the only issue, the only factor that we're gonna have to work around. But I just think that MJ, it's faster. He is really hard as well. His timing and his experience.
Yeah. And of course, MJ, again, Ramon, you guys have one of the deepest stables in boxing. Obviously, the boys have talked about it. If one of them gets a title, they'll serve it up.
No, they talked before. It's like, for example, they said before the fight, Ramon said it. If I win this fight, if I beat Inoue, I will not fight MJ. I will not fight a stablemate. He's my friend. He's my team. He says, we would talk about it if it's beneficial for both.
Frank Smith of Matchroom described this fight as the defining moment of Akhmadaliev's career. He reminded fans of MJ's knockout power and recent performances that prove he carries real danger in his punches. Smith said this is not just MJ's biggest payday, but also the grandest stage he has ever been on. Beating Inoue would bring him instant global recognition and a lasting legacy. He added that the timing couldn't be better. MJ is in his prime, motivated and fully confident. For Smith, this matchup is the perfect chance for MJ to shake up the super bantamweight division and cement his name in boxing history.